How to make 2026 the most successful year of your life. There comes a moment in every life when the clock doesn't just strike midnight, it strikes destiny. A moment when the calendar doesn't just flip, you shift, you rise, you step into a version of yourself that the world has not yet seen, but heaven has always known. 2026 is not waiting for you to be ready. 2026 is arriving whether you act or stay the same. But hear me, success is not year you walk into. Success is a mindset you carry with you. If you want 2026 to be the most successful year of your life, you must begin by confronting the uncomfortable truth. You cannot take old habits into a new season and expect a different outcome. Some of you are praying for expansion while clinging to contraction, asking for growth while holding on to what suffocates your potential. You want the promise but refuse the process. Before 2026 blesses you, 2025 must break you, break old thinking, break old patterns, break the excuses that have kept you circling the same mountains year after year. Success is not magic. Success is not accidental. Success is the harvest of discipline planted in seasons where no one was watching. If you want 2026 to rise for you, you must rise now. Rise in your habits. Rise in your character. Rise in your decisions. Rise in your hunger. Because let me tell you, you cannot soar into the future with the mindset of someone who is still crawling out of their past. Do you know why many people never step into success? Not because they lack ability, but because they lack alignment. Your actions must agree with your prayers. Your lifestyle must agree with your goals. Your discipline must agree with your vision. You want a blessed year, but are you willing to become a blessed person? You want doors to open, but are you prepared to walk through them? You want transformation, but are you willing to leave behind what keeps you the same? Hear this, 2026 will not reward your intentions, it will reward your execution. You cannot wish your way into success. You cannot hope your way into greatness. You must work, you must build, you must stretch, you must sacrifice until your future bows its head in respect to the effort you invested. There is a version of you waiting on the other side of discipline that you have never met. Stronger, wiser, more focused, more courageous, more relentless. But you will never see that version if you keep giving in to the comfort that has kept you small. You cannot carry procrastination into your purpose. You cannot carry fear into your future. You cannot carry doubt into your destiny. You must decide, today, not January 1st, that 2026 will be a year you design, not a year you simply endure. Set the tone now, build the habits now, speak the vision now, train your discipline now, cut the distractions now. Success shows up for those who prepare a seat for it. And hear this with your heart, 2026 is not asking you to be perfect. It is asking you to be persistent, to keep moving when it doesn't feel good, to keep pushing when it doesn't look hopeful, to keep believing when nothing around you seems to be changing. Because the truth is, change always happens inside before it ever becomes visible outside. You must become the person who is worthy of the life you seek. You must become the person who can handle the opportunities you're praying for. You must become the person who refuses to go back to who they used to be. So step into 2026 with fire. Step into it with conviction. Step into it with the kind of determination that makes your excuses pack their bags and leave your life forever. Do not wait for the new year. The transformation begins the moment you decide you are done living below the level of your own calling. This is your year to rise. This is your year to shift. This is your year to multiply. This is your year to become everything you were created to be. And if you walk into 2026 with that spirit, nothing, and I mean nothing, will be able to stop you. When you talk about making 2026 the most successful year of your life, you must begin with the realization that success does not start on January 1st. It starts in the quiet corners of your mind where no one sees, no one applauds, and no one congratulates you. It begins in the unseen places where you make decisions that shift the direction of your entire life. You cannot wait for the year to bless you if you have not positioned yourself to receive what you are asking for. The foundation of a successful year is laid long before the year arrives. In the invisible work you put in while the world is still sleeping, some people want a breakthrough, but are unwilling to break away from the patterns that keep them bound. They want elevation, but hold tightly to environments that pull them down. They want transformation while clinging to the habits that guarantee repetition. If you truly want 2026 to be a year of success, you must first confront the question that most people avoid. What have you been allowing that has been quietly limiting you? Sometimes the greatest enemy to your future is the comfort of your present. It is possible to be so used to surviving that you no longer fight to succeed. So used to carrying the weight of yesterday that you no longer reach for tomorrow. So used to your own limitations that you no longer challenge them if you want a successful year. Your mindset must become your first construction site. Success starts with the way you think, the way you speak to yourself, the way you interpret setbacks, and the way you respond to pressure. You cannot walk into a new season with old thought patterns and expect radical results. You cannot make 2026 a different kind of year with the same kind of thinking that kept you stuck in 2025. Your mind is the steering wheel of your future, and if you don't turn it, your life will continue traveling in the same direction it always has. There is power in deciding what you will tolerate and what you will no longer entertain. Decisions shape destiny. A year changes nothing unless you change you. You can read every book, watch every motivational video, and write every resolution. But until your decisions align with your desires, your life will stay stuck in the loop of almost. Almost successful, almost consistent, almost disciplined, almost transformed. A year of success requires you to break the cycle of almost. Almost is the enemy of arrival. To step into success, you must shift from intention to implementation, from desire to discipline, from dreaming to doing. Discipline is the silent architect of success. It builds the life you want one small choice at a time. It shows up when motivation disappears. It continues when inspiration fades. It carries you through the days when your feelings don't match your goals. Discipline does not ask how you feel. Discipline asks how committed you are. And if you want 2026 to be the most successful year of your life, you must make discipline your closest companion. You must train your mind to honor your commitments even when your emotions protest. Success demands sacrifice. You cannot take every habit, every distraction, every relationship, every comfort, and every limitation with you into the future you desire. Some things must be released so greater things can be received. Growth always asks you to let go of something. Sometimes it asks you to let go of who you used to be. Sometimes it asks you to let go of the people who cannot travel with you any further. Sometimes it asks you to let go of the excuses that keep you safe but small. Making 2026 successful begins with you choosing not to repeat the version of yourself that life has already outgrown. It begins with you rising in your thinking, rising in your discipline, rising in your decisions, rising in your confidence, and rising in your vision for what is possible for your life. It begins with you refusing to walk into another year carrying the same fears, the same doubts, the same procrastination, and the same limitations that once controlled you. It begins with you stepping into a higher version of yourself, one choice, one habit, one moment at a time to make 2026 the most successful year of your life. You must first understand that success is not about luck, timing, or waiting for someone to hand it to you. Success is about preparation meeting opportunity, and too many people arrive at the opportunity unprepared, dressed in doubt, armed with excuses, and carrying the weight of yesterday's failures. The question you must ask yourself is not, will 2026 be my year? The question you must ask is, will I be ready for 2026? Will I be willing to step into the discipline, the focus, the clarity, and the persistence it will demand? Because 2026 does not care about your excuses. It responds only to your preparation and your persistence. Many people enter a new year thinking that change comes from outside, that success comes from circumstances improving or people noticing them. But the truth is that success is born inside the mind, in the heart, and in the decisions that you refuse to compromise. You must train your mind to see possibilities when others see obstacles. You must develop a vision so strong that distractions bounce off of it like water off a duck's back. You must learn to guard your energy, guard your time, and guard your attention, because what you allow into your life will determine what 2026 delivers to you. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is often invisible to the naked eye. It is in the small things, the daily habits, the consistent efforts, the quiet moments of preparation that nobody notices but everybody benefits from. Success is not glamorous at first. Success is not loud at first. Success is a seed planted in the soil of sacrifice and watered with consistency until it bursts into the harvest that the world finally sees. If you want 2026 to be your year, you must embrace the grind. You must love the process more than you desire the praise. You must be willing to labor while others linger. It begins with discipline, the discipline to show up when you don't feel like it, the discipline to push forward when results seem distant, the discipline to remain focused when distractions knock at your door. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. If you are unwilling to build that bridge, you will remain stranded on the side of wishing, hoping, and almost. The people who make 2026 their most successful year are not the luckiest or the smartest. They are the most committed. They are the ones who refuse to quit, who refuse to compromise, who refuse to settle for less than the life they were designed to live. You cannot step into a successful year carrying old excuses, old fears, and old habits. You cannot expect a new season to bring new results while doing the same things that produced the old results. You must be willing to cut what no longer serves you, even if it is comfortable. You must be willing to leave behind people who cannot grow with you. You must be willing to silence the voices of doubt and negativity, even if they are familiar. Growth always comes with a cost, and if you are not prepared to pay it, you will remain in the same place, watching another year pass by without ever stepping into the fullness of your potential. Your focus determines your future. If you allow distractions to dominate your life, you will never arrive. If you allow fear to guide your decisions, you will remain stagnant. But if you choose clarity over confusion, Action over procrastination, courage over fear, and persistence over convenience. You will create a year that is unlike any other. Success is not complicated. It is deliberate. It is intentional. It is the daily commitment to becoming the person who can handle the life you desire. To make 2026 your year, you must rise above excuses, push beyond comfort, and step fully into the responsibility of your own greatness. You must speak to yourself with the language of possibility, act with the courage of conviction, and move with the urgency of someone who knows that life does not wait for hesitation. You must refuse to let another year slip by without giving everything you have to the version of yourself that is waiting on the other side of fear, doubt, and delay. If you want 2026 to be the most successful year of your life, you must first understand that success is never a matter of chance. It is always a matter of choice. It is the result of decisions made when no one is watching, of actions taken when no one is applauding, and of courage summoned when fear whispers that you cannot. Too many people step into a new year expecting miracles without preparing their hearts, their minds, and their habits. They pray for abundance but refuse to plan. They long for opportunities but neglect to pursue them. They hope for breakthroughs but continue to operate in the same patterns that have kept them small. Success does not meet the unprepared. It greets the ready, the committed, and the relentless. The first step to making 2026 your year is to confront yourself with brutal honesty. Where have you settled? Where have you allowed fear, procrastination, or distraction to dictate your path? What excuses have you carried into this moment that will continue to hold you back if you do not release them? The person you were yesterday is not the person you must be tomorrow. The habits, thoughts, and decisions that produced last year's results cannot produce the transformation you desire. If you truly want success, you must be willing to leave behind what no longer serves you and step boldly into a new way of thinking, a new way of acting, and a new way of living. Success begins in your mind, and your mind will either build the life you want or destroy it. You must train it to focus on what is possible rather than what is probable. You must speak to it in the language of victory, not defeat. You must feed it with vision, determination, and clarity, because the mind that doubts cannot achieve, and the heart that fears cannot endure. You cannot walk into 2026 carrying the same doubts, the same indecision, and the same hesitation that kept you stuck before. You must commit to thinking bigger, acting bolder, and believing harder than you ever have in your life. Discipline is the backbone of every successful year. It is the quiet force that turns dreams into reality, intentions into action, and visions into victories. Discipline is not always easy. It does not wait for inspiration or motivation. It demands consistency, patience, and sacrifice. If you want 2026 to be different, you must be willing to do what others will not, to work when others rest, to sacrifice when others indulge, and to persevere when others quit. Discipline is the bridge that carries you from wishing to achieving, from dreaming to living, from hoping to becoming the person capable of handling extraordinary results. You cannot succeed alone. The company you keep, the environment you inhabit, and the influences you allow into your life will either elevate you or limit you. Success requires surrounding yourself with those who challenge you, inspire you, and hold you accountable. It requires stepping away from toxic relationships, negative energy, and limiting beliefs that try to convince you that greatness is reserved for someone else. Your network, your mentors, and your environment will either accelerate your progress or delay your destiny. Every day, every decision, every moment is an opportunity to move closer to the life you desire. You must treat your time as precious because time is the currency of success. You must take action even when it feels uncomfortable, even when the path is unclear, and even when the odds seem stacked against you. Progress is born from persistence, not perfection, and the people who achieve greatness are those who keep moving, learning, and adapting no matter the obstacles. If you want 2026 to be the most successful year of your life, you must choose to rise above fear, rise above doubt, and rise above complacency. You must commit to building habits that support your goals, to thinking in ways that expand your possibilities, and to acting in ways that honor your potential. Success is not waiting for you to catch up. It is waiting for you to step into alignment with your purpose, to rise to the level of your calling, and to refuse anything less than extraordinary. Your year will reflect the choices you make today, the actions you take consistently, and the person you decide to become. You must decide to invest in yourself, to guard your mind and your time, and to relentlessly pursue the version of your life that you were created to experience. The greatest victories are reserved for those who refuse to settle, who refuse to quit, and who refuse to accept anything less than their full potential.